fresh, the winter soldier. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the white girls, man, you know, the winter soldier. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, man, I'm part of the gang, you know, BBC gang, we're up.
Yeah,
It's good stuff.
You feel me?
So, I guess we could go into kind of how would someone begin with starting, like, we could start with an online business, maybe.
Any kind of online
business. Yeah,
yeah,
because obviously your niche with helping people scale up their, you know, online coaching when it comes to fitness. But, like, how could someone get, you know, involved with, you know, starting an online business?
Yeah, I think, okay, so this might be contrary to a lot of what other like gurus and shit say, but I think you should have a fucking job first, right? Like, you know, you had a job when you started, because it's difficult if you relying on income from a new business you just started.
I wish more people said that, bro.
Yeah,
You're
man.
like one of the few people that tells them, like, yo, get a fucking job first.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else says, oh, laptop lifestyle. Like, yeah, you can go ahead and be an entrepreneur right away.
You got to
like,
work your way up to that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very rare that you see that. Yeah. And those are the exceptions that people do it. Like, if you got a job, then you have, you know, you want to, at least you can have your bills covered.
Yeah.
And shit, you know, and then you start it on the side, and then you might have to put in more hours.
Yeah.
Of the day, right? You know, and here's the thing: the average person walking around the street, everyone I see, they have so much potential that's untapped, right? But they don't know how to utilize it and really bring it to the surface. And part of that is, you know, really dialing in your calendar. You get what I'm saying? So one thing that helped me, this is when I was struggling. I had like multiple jobs. It was during the recession after my father blew his brains out, right? And I had to take care of the whole family. And, you know, one thing I did, man, is I was like, okay, I ain't got no money, but I got time, right? So I started planning out every hour of every day. And so this is my calendar. Like, even now,
even
you plan
years
out
later, man, still the same way.
Every hour of every day.
Militant.
Because if you do that, what happens is you're going to squeeze out more success each day. Does that make sense? Like, you'll find you're going to accomplish more. If you out here freestyling your days, it's not going to work. I'm not saying it can't work, but what's going to happen is sometimes the time just goes, you know?
Yeah.
You're just like, fuck. All right. But everybody who's followed my advice when I say start planning out every hour of every day, everyone who's done this shit, they get like more done in a week than they had the prior month. Mm-hmm. And if you start stacking it week after week, then you start running circles around the competition. You know, you can really start outpacing any issues you have, any problems you have. You know, you can take it to the, I'm sorry, man, this shit distracted me.
No, you good.
You can take it to the next level. Like, you can really get control of your life. Bruce Lee said, if you love life, don't waste time, because time is what life is made of.
Fair.
Right? So you want to start weaponizing your day, weaponizing the hours. And it starts with the calendar. Plan out every hour of every day.
Gotcha, bitch.
And that's why if you have a job, then you can work, you know, another 40 hours. Like, because people say, man, oh man, what about family and all that shit? First of all, when people say that fucking family shit, unless you got a bunch of kids, what you talking? If you don't have your own family, unless you got kids, so sometimes it'd be like young dudes. I'm like, what you talking about? Spending time with mommy, nigga?
Yeah.
Like, you would spend time with your mommy, man. It's time for you to lead in that. You spend too much time with your mom. That's why you sound like a bitch right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to, you know, step out and be a man on your own. You know, so. But anyway, this 168 hours in every fucking week, right? And here's the thing: if you work 80 hours a week, which I think you should, either on your own. Me, it was multiple jobs at first, right? But you can have your job and your business.
Would you say that's step one of the tangible, you know, like
get a fucking job. Make sure you got a job.
And like 80 hours though, because not a lot of people are saying that.
Yeah. 80 hours. If you're not, listen, business is fucking hard.
Yeah.
80% of businesses fail. Only like 5% of businesses ever reach $1 million a year. Right? The odds are super fucking low that you're going to succeed in any kind of business. Right? You know what I'm saying? So you have to really put the odds in your favor by putting in more time.
Yeah.
Like more time, more effort. 80 hours a week, even if it's your own business, especially if it's your own business.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the only thing you're doing now, you got to make sure that shit succeeds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
You know?
if you're working a job, when you're working there, your employers are gonna pay you just enough to make you go to work, pay the bills, and come back.
Yeah.
Versus your actual friends that work with you, like they've been there 20, 40 years. You should say, you know what? I don't want to be these guys here 40 years plus, still doing the same job that I'm doing at 20. So I'm gonna get out the job as soon as possible. If it's start a side business, then at that point I can work towards that. leaving my job.
Yeah, and you want to have some income, man. You know, you want to have some income. Like when you're starting your business, you don't want to rely on, man, you don't want to be in a position where you got to make rent this month off a job, of a business you just started.
Survival.
And you just learned.
Yeah.
How, you know what I'm saying? Because here's how you get rich. Like how you get rich is you make more money than you spend and invest the difference. And if you do that over a long enough period of time,
Compound
you
effect.
will get rich. You get what I'm saying? Like you will get rich. Make more money you spend and
Sounds
invest the
so
difference.
simple, but like you know, in practice, you know, this is what most Americans fail at.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's really no other way. You know what I'm saying? Like unless you get like a super high paying job, but you can still fuck that up if you if you're spending more than you make. Like
Absolutely.
fucking athletes go broke all the time.
There was some study that came out like last year that people that make 6 figures a year, a majority of them still live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
So it's not, you know, $100,000 a year is not that much, guys. And I would argue in today's day and age, it's even less now with inflation and how, you know, the dollar's dropped off so much just from 2020. Like what, almost 50% of the money in current and circulation now was printed during the COVID era.
Yeah.
So it's
Even
like,
rappers like Fat Joe and all these guys are saying like, yo, I make good money
You
from my
see that
career.
shit?
$1 million plus just went out his hand.
Check the check.
disappeared.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're living check to check, making 100. How much he made? Like what, 2 million, 5 million?
He was saying some wild numbers, man. He was still
and it
living
went,
check to check.
disappeared like poof.
Fat Joe?
Yeah, Fat Joe and this other rapper. Is it Jadakiss?
Jadakiss, yeah.
Yeah, they had
When-
a podcast.
Okay.
They spoke about how they lost money.
Okay, when they were, this is probably in the height of their careers,
Yeah.
music-wise?
They said Jay was like, you got to keep working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause you got to keep working because they make their lifestyle match their income.
Yeah.
So they got to keep. But I'm saying do the opposite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you see me like with like fucking expensive watches and jewelry and shit now, but you got to remember, man, for like almost 10 years on YouTube, all you saw me was with fucking some Jordans and
Yeah.
an Apple Watch.
You know what's
Yeah,
impressive, bro? He has no car. That to me is insane.
You know what? I'm real reluctant to raise.
That's common with New Yorkers, though.
Yeah, it's
A lot of New Yorkers don't have driver's licenses.
Really?
though.
Yo, bro, I just got
Very
my driver's
common.
license like last year.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, I lived in New York. I
hold
lived
on.
in New York for 15 years, man.
But you're in Florida now, bro. Like,
yeah, no.
come on,
Now I
man.
got my. Listen, I
A
lived.
lot of people don't know that about New Yorkers. Like a lot of them don't have driver's license. A lot of them don't know how to drive. It's very
Lucario.
yeah. Locario to this day don't drive. It doesn't have a license.
Bro,
Oh, damn.
I had a Illinois driver's license because I'm from Chicago, South Side. What up? And I moved to New York after college, and I immediately got rid of my car because it was like, oh, this is a nightmare driving here. And in the train, the shit was more
It
convenient.
costs you more to keep the car than to
Bro,
like,
parking,
it's bad.
alternate side of the street shit.
Bruh.
It was intense, right? So my driver's license expired. I was like, man, I'm in New York. I ain't get it. I just didn't renew it.
There's no need.
And I didn't renew it till I came to Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like last year I got my driver's
But I'll be
license.
honest though, from what I'm learning from these guys that have a lot of money, billionaires, they're like, yo, the less I have, the better. So they have no type of like recurring bills. All the shit that would be on your mind mentally to drain you is
Bro.
gone. And just put all the money back into your business and focus on that.
Yeah.
I swear that's the shit I think about all the time. Like I'm reluctant to raise my reoccurring
Bills.
expenses. I'll buy some one-time shit. If I buy a watch, that's one time.
It's done.
Buy some clothes one time. Buy some fucking diamonds, jewelry, shit is one time. But like to raise your recurring expenses, then it's like, I just there's no amount of money you can't fuck up.
Yeah.
So
There's no amount of money you can't fuck up.
remember the whole Bitcoin boom?
Yeah.
You guys are going crazy in the clubs, buying cars. So buddy of mine owns a dealership here in Fort Lauderdale, right?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, you know it. And what happened was they would buy cars every month. Like they would buy like this car, that car. I'm like, damn, these niggas are balling.
Yeah.
But you know the problem though? When the money slowed down,
When the money slow down.
that bill is still there. So that now you're cooked because you got to pay all these bills and the money slowed down.
Every business is going to have ups and downs.
Yeah.
Like, every business is going to have ups and downs seasons. That's why most businesses don't last more than 5 years, right? Because they can't outmatch the seasons, and then to do it for decades is super hard because there's a recession on average every 10 years. And most businesses don't survive that shit, right? So you got to always protect the downside. You get what I'm saying? Like always protect the downside.
You know who's the smartest person I know
Yeah.
in the industry
Me.
right now?
No, if it's not me, besides me, who is it?
Well, indirectly it would be you, but it's really Myron because
Oh.
you mentored
Yeah.
him.
Yeah,
Because
that's homie. Yeah.
He doesn't spend money,
Mhm.
saves it, put it in real estate, stocks, and crypto, and has low expenses.
No, he's doing it right because he's only been Myron's been rich for like what 5 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, I guess it's relative. So for me, right, like making 130K per year, for me, even back then, I would consider that a lot of money.
You feel,
because my expenses were so low.
Yeah,
right?
that's the thing.
It's like when I was working for the government, I was like not spending that much money anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm just like I think materialism is like one of the worst things that we have in Western society. I think it's really bad. Now, like, I think there's ways to go about it. Like, the way you go about it is really fucking smart, where you have 5 different accounts. And then you have, which I'd like for you to explain to them how you do it, actually. Because there are some people here that want to niggify, which is fine. But the way you do it is really smart. Like, where it's like, yo, I have multiple accounts, and then I have an account where this money goes in, where it's like literally just expendable income.
Yo,
expendable income.
I didn't start flexing.
When I met you weren't flexing.
I wasn't flexing. I didn't start flexing until I had enough assets.
You were flexing.
No. When I met him, he wasn't.
Not in like 2018.
When I met him, he was wearing rubber bands and Apple watches. He wasn't flexing even
He's
back
flexing
then.
his muscles. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You can't say you're flexing.
Okay. Yeah. But when I met Brandon, like,
when
in
the soldier
2018,
strikes again.
when I met Brandon in 2018, he was very like Apple, basically. But he was at the end of that curve at that point. Then you started balling like